Hello, listeners. Welcome to this episode of my podcast. This time, we're going to learn about the War of the Currents, the battle of current supremacy between Thomas Edison's direct current and Nikola Tesla's alternating current. This section of time is where Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, and George Westinghouse raced to electrify the country, whether through direct current or alternating current, the two ways of transmitting electricity. At the start, Edison dominated the electric market with his reliable and profitable version of the light bulb. However, Edison was a staunch supporter of direct current, and so when alternating current proponent Nikola Tesla came on the scene, backed by the well-known industrialist George Westinghouse, there was bound to be conflict. Even though Tesla and Westinghouse brought efficient electric generators, Tesla had a vision of much more. Tesla went on to experiment using the funds Westinghouse provided through their contract. But I'm going on a tangent, so we'll come back to that later. Now, in 1890, the first electric chair victim, William Kemmler, was executed using an illegal, Edison-sponsored alternating current generator. And according to a reporter for the New York Herald, quote, "The scene of Kemmler's execution was too horrible to picture." End quote. He died in a horrible, macabre spectacle that I, frankly, don't think is appropriate to describe here due to its gruesome and disturbing nature, so I won't go into details. But 3 years later, the 1893 Chicago World's Fair was the first all-electric fair in history, and the General Electric Company, the company that had taken over Edison Company, had aimed to win the contract for electrifying the World Fair. However, due to the high amount of expensive copper wire needed for direct current generation and transmission, their $1 million bid was beaten by half from the Westinghouse Company and their alternating current generators. This resulted in the public viewing alternating current in much more positive light, fighting against the major negative whiplash that the electric chair had brought. Now, on to Niagara Falls. Due to the raw natural power of Niagara Falls, many had hoped to harness it for electric power, and the Niagara Falls Power Project was spearheaded by the Niagara Falls Commission. This commission received proposals from all across the world, all being rejected, such as a system that would use pneumatic pressure to one that even involved ropes, springs, and pulleys. But, as you could expect, the current war raged on even here as Edison endorsed a proposal that utilized direct current. However, in 1893, same year as the now electrified World Fair, the contract was decided. The commission head, Lord Kelvin, was a well-known British physicist, and he attended the World's Fair earlier in the year. Once a strong opponent against alternating current, Lord Kelvin converted to supporting alternating current after the success he witnessed at the World's Fair. This resulted in Westinghouse receiving the contract to electrify the falls, and the construct of alternating current generators began. For 5 years, the construction put heavy stress on engineers and especially investors. However, Tesla had no doubts. Once the electricity started flowing, nobody wanted it to stop. Eventually, even Edison systems converted to use alternating current. However, not everything was smooth sailing for the Westinghouse Company, nor for even General Electric. After this turbulent war of currents, these companies were financially unstable, and robber barons were out for blood. Remember when I said that Tesla used funds in his contract with Westinghouse in order to experiment? Well, in order to save his company, Westinghouse went to Tesla in hopes to cancel their contract to save money and have a more stable finance. Well, Tesla, as a result of a beneficial partnership that allowed his inventions to shine, helped Westinghouse by, in his own words, tearing up the contract with his own hand. Fortunately for Westinghouse, this saved his company, but unfortunately for Tesla, he ended up facing financial difficulties for the rest of his life. The War of the Currents was an important time in history, and it was the battle that electrified the country. Without the battle between Edison, Tesla, and Westinghouse, who knows how electricity would be different now in modern times. Now, this podcast has only scratched the surface of this electrifying time in history, and I encourage you, dear listeners, to look more into it if you found my short summary to your liking. I can highly recommend the 2017 movie by the name of The Current War. Well, that's it for now. Talk later, guys.